Hello everyone, once again I'm Cosmic, and today we're here to talk about Mordheim, City of the Damned, and instead of me talking by myself, I am here with Yves Bordeleau. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
Lovely. Who is from Rogue Factor, who are the developers of Mordheim. So hello and welcome.
Very nice meeting you.
So let's get straight into it, because I want to talk about the game, because people who have watched my channel before know that I did a video of Mordheim way back in the beginning of Early Access, just after the Sisters of Sigmar released. And I definitely enjoyed the game back then. I think that there was a couple of issues with the speed of combat and some other issues, and it was very bare bones because none of the warband features had been implemented yet. So let's start off, before we get into combat and anything about the crush, let's start off with warbands. So what has changed in the game in terms of warbands since the beginning of Early Access?
Oh my God, quite a lot of things. We've been working hard on many aspects. First of all, we released the game in early access with only 2 warbands available, and then we added the Sisters of Sigmar, and then we added the Cult of the Possessed. So these were added, and every month we did quite major updates on the game mechanics, on the balancing of the warbands and such. So the amount of stuff that change is quite incredible. They go from skills to different abilities to different items, consumables, weapons, customization. We have now kit bashing options that you can virtually customize every of your unit using different body parts, just like you would do with your miniature. Change the colors, put the heavy armored arm, like right arm with heavy armor, the left arm with the light armor, for instance, and things like that. So it's something that the community really wanted us to work on, and as it is one of the main reasons why we are working on Mordheim on early access on Steam. It's to get the feedback from the community and to really tailor the game as much as close as the community wants in the amount of time that we have to develop the title. So it evolved a lot. The warbands changed a lot. Also, graphically, we really improved the graphics. So basically, all the characters now are rendered with a different rendering engine. The game was released initially on Unity 4.5, and we switched to Unity 5 in February, late February. So
That's an odd thing to do mid-development.
oh my God! It was it was something that we had to do. We planned it, so it was not that bad.
Right.
It,
So
it
it
was
wasn't
quite
like a last-minute decision to go, oh, we need
no.
to change.
No. We were expecting to have, like, because when we started developing Mordheim, we knew that Unity 5 was coming, but the thing, it got postponed and postponed and postponed. So we ended up like doing a lot of development on 4.5. But when we switched, things went quite smoothly. The only problem that we had was pretty much regarding the rendering, the new rendering engine in deferred rendering. So that for that we had to change a lot of textures and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But beside that, I think the investment in time and in development cost to change the engine improved tremendously the speed of the game and also the quality of the graphics.
Because that is something, I mean, I was always, even in the older Unity, the game looked great, like especially the character models, the character, even in very, very early access.
Yeah.
The character models really looked fantastic.
Thank you.
And I think that improving that only goes better, but I think for me, the biggest issue was the time that matches took. Not even in player turns, but in between when the back end was processing, it would take such a long time.
Yeah.
And it would end up taking like one match, and it's 1v1. One match would take anywhere upward of 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty heavy investment for one multiplayer match.
Yes, it is.
And it's nice to hear that that's going to be slightly faster, because that was something that used to almost put me off from playing, because I love the game and I love the combat, because the combat itself reminds me of one of my favorite PS3 games, which is Valkyria Chronicles.
Yes.
And I love that, and I love that being able to sit there with a controller and just play the game. But just that sheer amount of time usually just put me off, because you were like, well, can I really invest nearly 2 hours just to play 2 games? Probably not.
Yeah. The thing is, one thing that is really important to take in consideration here is that we wanted to release the game with like most of the possibilities unlocked. So basically, when you will start like a new game at rank 0, you will have like maybe like 4 characters to control, and then you will build up your warband, and it will go up to 10 per warband. But beside the amount of units that you need to control, we streamline a lot of stuff in terms of gameplay elements. So the flow of the game is much faster now. Before it could take like a long time to finish a fight, but now we have options like playing chess, for instance. We can put a timer, so you can have like maybe only 30 seconds to play a unit. You can really set and customize all the different options per skirmish. So that's really something that the community wanted. So we can tailor like, okay, let's do it fast and furious. So you make like 15-second turns and things like that. So it makes the game like super fast. And also we improved a lot of things in terms of flow and in terms of reactivity and animations and things like that. So generally the game is quite faster, but we still try to remain faithful to the original tabletop. Like an original, like when you play Mordheim on tabletop, a fight will last maybe for, I don't know, it can last for 2 hours. So we wanted to keep that kind of feeling. But in the end, since it's a video game and it's an adaptation, we wanted to feel snappy and to feel good. So I think we just find the right balance regarding that.
So with the combat, let's first start off with the modes. Like, what modes are available now, and are there any more planned?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right now, there are multiple modes available. The classics are there, of course. The like kind of a King of the Hill and Capture the Flags and things like that. But we added more. Like it's twofold basically. You have something that we call deployment.
Right.
So which is like different types of situations where you will be set off during a match. So we added quite a few there. And we also added different modes as well. So I'm just gonna open up a list so I can give you a little bit of what we currently have in that build. We were, since the beginning of the early access, every updates we've been adding new modes almost like every 1 or 2 updates. So there's quite a lot. And I'm gonna give you a rundown of them. So, and depending on which stage you are, things will change as well regarding deployment and things like that. So, in terms of gameplay, you have, for instance, different type of objectives according to the stage. Like, for instance, if you go to the Raven Barrack, for instance, you can have one mode that all the iron doors are open or closed, and you cannot, you can alter these. You can have a mode where some of them will be frozen, so you won't be able to use those paths and stuff like that. So every different location will have different gameplay modes. So that's really interesting regarding the stuff that you can do. And in terms of deployment, same thing. You will have really almost like Royal Rumble type, where like the fight is almost already engaged, and you will have other types of deployment where you are really far away, and that you can go search for weird stones or just wander around the city and find the best tactics. So there's a lot of stuff to do. And also you have extra objectives that we added. So every stage will have different type of extra objectives. So, for instance, like in the map where you have the big statue of Count Gotthard, you will have some extra objectives regarding defeating certain type of enemies, or a certain order of things.
Yeah.
So it's really customized according to the stage. So when you start a skirmish fight, you select the stage that you want to play, and then you have all those options to make the game really interesting according to the deployment. The most classic, like for players that don't know the game, you have like the mark for death, which is like you need to make a specific unit out of action and claim their belonging as proof that you targeted and you put out of action that specific unit. You have the other, like crush their will, which is it's another mode, an extra objective that you will need to steal the idol from the enemy warband cart and secure it in your own chest on your cart. You have the Weird Stone Rush, which is a classic there, classic Mordheim gameplay where you need to secure a specific amount of weird stones in a specific stage,
Yeah.
and so on. We are really putting some extra effort to have a lot of variety in terms of objectives and modes for each stages.
Yeah, it's certainly something that appeals to me because I mean, anyone who has seen my reviews and such knows that I just, a turn-based strategy game is just my cup of tea, and I love the depth of Mordheim's combat and its amount of customization with the combat. I think that makes it very interesting and a lot more fun to play.
Yeah.
With the warbands, you currently have four. Is it four?
Yes, it is.
Four to play. So there's the Empire, Sisters of Sigmar, Possessed, and what was the other one?
Skaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the plans post-release to expand on that?
Yes, absolutely. Right now, we are focusing on the full release with those four warbands, but depending on the feedbacks of the community, the success of the release, we are definitely planning to add more warbands. We're trying to do the same model as the hobby. So basically, you buy, this is the original box set, and then you will buy expansions according to whatever you like or you prefer. So we are really looking at different types of DLCs, but it's the DLCs that we want to make are really like big. Full experience DLCs, but we might as well do smaller DLCs like Hired Swords, for instance. These were really popular back in the days on the tabletop, so we are really looking at these. But so far, we are looking at all those possibilities, and depending on what's happening in the next few months, we will determine the course of action, and of course we will keep the community up to speed regarding that as soon as we have info.
Now, with obviously something that the community has been asking for a long time is progression.
Yes.
So talk about the plans for progression and the hideout system.
Okay, excellent. So, for like the first thing I can say is that the progression is the next update that we will push.
That's good.
So the community will be super happy about that, and we've been working hard to have something that is really balanced and that is working well. The way that we call it the war camp. The way it's working, you will have it's multifaceted. There are a multitude of facets regarding that. First of all, you have the warband management, which is already available. So you will have this is the place where you will hire different units, manage them, and equip them, raise their stats when they level up, and equip them with different consumables, have them learn new skills and things like that. This will also be the place where, in the warband management, will be the place where you will see when you have warriors that are unavailable because they are healing from injuries that they will have during combat. So, and also they will be unavailable when they are training for new skills and things like that. So that is the place. It's the hub of everything that is related to your units and what's happening with them. Next, you will have the Smuggler's Den, which is a special place where the whole mechanic behind Weirdstones occurs. So you will send Weirdstones to different factions to gain some good reputation with them, and as well to gain money to be able to pay the upkeep for your warriors. And the reputation that you have with the different faction will give you bonuses. So whenever you fulfill some request and you gain a certain amount of reputation, you will unlock gift, for instance. You will unlock skills and different type of special enchantment, and things like that. Even you will get sometimes units and hired swords. So this is something that is really interesting, that adds a lot of depth and strategy in terms of what you're doing with the loot that you will gain every fight you will win or accomplish, different mission you will accomplish in the campaign. So that's the Smuggler's Den. Then you have the shop, which is obviously where you will buy your equipment, and the inventory of the shop will refresh every week because we have a calendar system where time actually passes. Whenever you do a fight, days will go by, and this is something that you really need to take care and watch what's going on regarding this, because sometimes you can have some really cool stuff going on in the shop, and then oops, they are gone afterward. So then, well, there's the actual player progression, which is a special. It's a little bit like the Paragon system in Diablo 3,
Right.
which is like you will gain some experience as the player, which is like your dramatist persona in the campaign that will represent this, and you will learn certain recipes, for instance, so to create enchantment mostly. So. Some arcane knowledge, some specific things that you will unlock there, and the more you play, the more perks you gain.
Yeah.
So that's really an interesting system that that player will enjoy, and it's all about specific achievements in the game, obviously. So if you deliver some wordstone to specific campaign, you will unlock stuff. Whenever you complete certain unique campaign stages, you will unlock experience point there. So there's a multiple different things that you can do there. Then, well, obviously there's the campaign, which is the hub where you will send your warriors, your warband on different missions. So on that campaign map, you will see different locations of Mordheim. You will have to send scouts, for instance.
Now, is the campaign multiplayer or is it single player?
No, it's single player.
It's single player.
It's single player, but the warband that you use in campaign mode will be usable in multiplayer.
Right.
So. So campaign mode is a little bit like practice at first. You should do a few skirmishes in campaign mode just to get the hang of it, make your warband progress, have a little bit of experience before fighting other human players. But the thing that is coming, it's not in the next patch, in the next update, but we have exhibition mode and like the hardcore mode in multiplayer. So exhibition, it's like there's no consequences whatsoever, but like no real rewards as well. But in the hardcore mode, well, you can lose characters, units. You can there's full consequences.
That is something I do love about the game, the permadeath and the idea, because it's something that I think Mordheim players and especially just general fans of turn-based strategy games, even not necessarily fans of the Warhammer IP, enjoy is that they create and customize their own teams, and then if they invest time and effort into each character, and then once it's gone, and you feel that loss a lot more than just having someone that's just replaceable instantly. And it's something I was going to touch on with the campaign was that how story driven is that campaign?
It's like the original tabletop. There's a story, It's light. We don't want to put the story in forefront.
Hmm.
Mordheim is all about going into the city, plunder, grab some
Yeah.
Wordstone, get out. So we really listen to the community in terms of where we put it, the effort in the game. So the four war bands as a campaign, the dramatist persona drives the campaign. There are specific objectives unique to each warband during their campaign. So there's a lot of it's more like in terms of mechanics, in terms of what you need to do in specific locations. This is what's campaign all about.
Yeah.
To progress, to follow a small storyline. And you have the dramatist persona, which is original to. There's one per warband that
Hmm.
you will basically follow these characters in terms of what they are planning to do in Mordheim. You learn backstory regarding them, and it's all about exploring Mordheim and giving them purpose. But at the same time, we didn't want to stray far from the initial purpose, which is, Mordheim is it's like a drug cartel. You are fighting there for witchstones, and you don't have necessarily like always a reason to go there, except just fighting and dying to
Yeah.
grab witchstones.
I mean, that's something that, I mean, I think the last thing I wanted to touch on was the multiplayer itself, because the multiplayer is a lot of fun, and I know I've got Steam friends who literally only play Mordheim. That's the only thing they play
Nice.
since very early access, and it's
Wow.
like they play hundreds of hours of that game and nothing
Yeah.
else, which is it's very rare to see that in a game.
It's true, huh? It's true. I don't know if your friends are part of the Gentlemen of
They
Mordheim,
are,
because
yeah,
these guys are just so hardcore.
hardcore,
Like,
right? I know.
I just like some of these guys are like at the team at Rogue Factor. We are good at the game because we made it, but these guys are way better than us.
Yeah, though the gentleman of Mordheim once invited me to a tournament,
Yeah.
and I said, "There's no chance because I have no chance of winning against you guys. There's just
Oh
no
yeah,
way."
they are so good. They know the game better than we do.
I mean, one thing that I would like to see in the game personally, and I know that there's other players that would like to see this, is that in the future possibly having more players per match. And not making it just 1v1, make it having made 2v2 or a free for all. Is that something that
Yeah.
you guys have thought about?
Yeah, we thought about it. I think right now the biggest hurdle in terms of actually doing it, is technology. It's like the engine that we're using,
Yeah.
and everything that we have in game right now. It's really tricky, especially because of all the in the procedural environments,
Hmm.
and not the Unix stage. It's really heavy in terms of assets and stuff.
Yes.
So just having like one versus one, and add to that like a few chaotic surprises,
Yes.
and you are like maxing your RAM, your computer RAM. So it's kind of tricky. I don't say that it won't be possible in the future if we try to find like a specific way to let's for instance, I'm just it's speculation right now, like that we reduce the number of units on a certain type of match, of fight, to like, I don't know, like you have like four of your best
Yeah.
warriors against. So maybe there would be like a possibility to do something like that, but it's something that we really wanted to do, but in terms of possible outcome regarding the code and the engine, we really wanted to focus on a very good one versus one experience before going to explore those alternatives,
Yeah.
gameplay methods. So we keep our mind open. We never know. Huh? That's the wonderful thing about doing a game on Steam, and adding stuff via DLCs and improving the game. If it's a huge success, it opens up a tons of possibilities. So for us, it's unless it's like something that it's impossible with the code and stuff, we always say like we consider it. I don't know if you saw, we have a wish list
Yes.
on the forum. Like and everybody's participating in it. And we've done a lot of stuff that was on that wish list, and there are still many things there that would be super cool to add to the game. So we keep it updated. We have someone that is managing the wish list in terms of priority, in terms of what we can do in the certain amount of time and things like that. So we are really watching this carefully and listening to the community.
So obviously, you mentioned that progression update is next. When is the game going to hit full release?
This is still in discussion. As you know, there's many parties involved into this, and it's always a tricky question to answer because we have a publisher, Focus on Interactive, and we also have a partner, which is Games Workshop.
Yes.
So, and also beside all of these cool companies that we need to set stuff with them in terms of timing, there's always like the market, like what's going on, when would be the best time to release something, and things like that. But like we mentioned many times, we are looking at releasing the full version this year. So yes, totally. So it's coming very soon.
Lovely. Well, Yves, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
And, like I say, if you haven't checked out Mordheim before, I do urge you to do so, because it's a game that I personally love to play, even though I'm absolutely terrible at it. And is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, like you just said, we are putting a lot of effort onto that game, and if you guys like Valkyria Chronicle, XCOM, good old strategic RPGs like Fire Emblem, Shining Force, or War Song, anything that was turn-based tactical that you improve your units, you will find something interesting in Mordheim. Not just because it's Warhammer, which is a wonderful IP, but also because we really took great care to listen to the community feedback to make a game that player actually want to play and like.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.